and welcome to The Next Big Star. My name is James Kelly. I'm the host of today's show. Brian Gardner is here with us today, and Donny Trimmer, and you're with a group called
Manzanita.
Manzanita.
Started this group back in Northern California many years ago.
Many years ago.
And I remained the constant in Manzanita, and luckily I found Donny, who plays really nice bass, and I'm working on other guitars, so I have it about 3 deep in case somebody's not available, because I don't want to ever have to cancel a gig.
So you're here in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And both of you live here?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Donny, give us a little bit of your background first.
Well, I was born at a very young age, back in 1953 in Boulder City, Nevada. And
wow!
I'm a native resident of Clark County, been around the world many times, but this is the best place in the world. Yes.
All right.
And I started playing bass when I was 18 years old, and that was, 50 years ago.
Okay.
A friend of mine had a guitar in high school, and a neighbor down the street had a drum set. He said, "Hey, get a bass and we'll have a band." And that's what I did, and that's how I got started.
All right. And you've been doing music ever since?
Yeah,
right.
50 years.
Okay, and for you, Brian?
Yeah, I also, like Donny, I started when I was 18, which is kind of late to be a drummer. That's when I started first. I saw, some people might know this Montgomery Ward catalog. I don't care if I'm dating myself, but there was a drum set for $69. I said, I got to have it. And my dad hit the roof, and he said, I never spent $69 on myself or anything. I said, Dad, nothing ever costs $69 in your day. Yeah. And then I moved up to a better drum set, and then I got into a band where I was the only one with the money to buy the Martin 12-string we needed, so I bought it. When the band broke up, they said, here's your guitar, see you later. Then I fell in love, got bitten, worse than a heroin addiction, okay? In, songwriting. I just love it. I just love the process.
And that's what I want to ask you guys.
Sure.
What's different with your band? You play some covers.
We play some covers and a lot of the originals I've written. Mm-hmm. I've teamed up with another guitarist who Donny hasn't met yet, but he's really got some good originals, so we're going to trade off on that. The difference is it's family friendly. We don't do any songs with any, racy lyrics or anything. And we are an acoustic band, so you can sit and talk to your date or your wife or your significant other and still hear what they're saying. But you also, since I've been a drummer for 50 years, I'll just show you an example, Right away that beat is there and people really enjoy that, but it's not blasting loud.
Yeah.
And when I'm not playing guitar, I go back to my roots as a drummer and a percussionist. I have some really cool percussion instruments I accompany the other guitarists with. So it tickles people's ears in different ways. And Donny, if you want to add anything to that, what you feel is different about Manzanita?
It's like you said, acoustic. I cut my teeth on classic rock and roll. And so this is a little different, but hey, I'm a little older now too. So.
Yeah. We do change a little bit with age, don't we?
That's right.
A little bit, yeah.
All right, anything you want to share with us about music itself?
Well, I think a lot of the philosophy when I'm auditioning somebody is that you leave the A and the E at home, the attitude and the ego.
Okay, that's good.
If you love the audience, then that's who I want to play with you. If we're playing a gig or a performance, the gig is the internal word musicians use, but if we're playing a performance and a couple comes up who are quite aged, and it's Harry and Sally, and Harry says, hey, we're celebrating our, 69th birthday, and we're from Kansas City. Can you play that song? The last musician I would want to play with was, do we have to play that crappy song? I've played it 4 billion times. Right. No, I'm going to say, Harry and Sally, fantastic, guys. Let's do Kansas City for them. By the way, everybody in here, let's give a big hand to,
right. Right.
Because when you have a love affair with the audience can pick up on it. If you're like this, hey, we really like you, they're going to go, oh, phony,
Yeah.
But that's the main thing about music. If you're a band leader, if somebody's watching this show and they are a leader of a band, don't get into the minutia of what people are doing in their private lives, whether it's alcohol or drugs or whatever. But, be ready to talk to them if their activities affect the performance.
Right.
Then you have the right to say, hey, You know, you're forgetting the lyrics. You don't criticize them because they're a team player. You say, hey, what can we do there to kind of sort that out, you know?
And I know from past experience that can make a difference in the whole attitude of the band, actually.
Right,
You
right.
know,
One thing
I've
about-
interviewed bands that actually had a few drinks before they came on air and
Yeah.
did a few more things, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
not always necessarily cool when you're getting ready to do an interview.
Right.
So.
You talk about interacting with the audience. I've been at gigs before, and they say, we've had a request, but we're going to keep playing anyway.
I always bring colorful maracas too.
Yeah.
And even though we're still kind of dealing with COVID, I do have some, you know, a way to clean them between people using them. But people like it that they can be part of the band. And so the maracas are in a bowl. No one takes them home. If they take a few, they're not that expensive. But it's mainly, hey, join in with the band. And people are having fun playing the maracas because even the logo that I showed you when I handed you my business card, I didn't draw it, you know, perfectly. It's not a perfect guitar. Took me 3 hours to draw. It's a sketch because people look at that business card and they go, they're a friendly band. I want
Right.
to see
It's
them.
not perfection. It's fun.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'm glad you said that because you remind me of something else that's extremely important to me. It is not technical expertise that I go for. Doesn't mean the band plays sloppy, but the senior thing to do is to create an emotional impact with your painting, your sculpture, your written word, or your art. That's the senior thing. The Rolling Stones get up there making mistakes here and there, and people go gaga over
Well,
it.
yeah.
Because-
Most live performances, you're going to find flaws in
Yeah.
the live performance.
But they're creating an emotional impact in the audience. The audience loves it. That's what I go for in this band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I watch a lot of like American Idol
Oh, yeah,
or The Voice and stuff like that. And that's the one thing I see sometimes I really appreciate is that when they're judging someone and someone's off key a little bit, they'll say, that's okay, you need to watch for it. But sometimes that can add flavor. If the performance is good, being off key a little bit doesn't matter. It's the entire package that matters.
Yeah.
On that same note, some vocalists cannot be the greatest vocalist, but if he's connecting and emotionally connecting, there's been some TV commercials down through the years where the vocalist is not really doing, but he's
connected
conveying
with
an
you.
emotion and a thought and an idea, and he's got this grovelly voice, but it works.
Yeah.
How about this? How did Bob Dylan ever get a recording contract? I'd like
But
to.
everybody loves Bob
I'd
Dylan.
like to sing some songs if I could. I'd like to. What?
But no, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
The other thing I want to share with you is, this is an E chord, played perfectly, but because I'm a drummer, I will sometimes, the reason the acoustic guitar is the main instrument in Manzanita is, listen to this. I like all those sounds. It's like a coffee table that you made out of driftwood. It is not square. It is not rectangle. It's got edges and shapes and little indentations and
That makes it fun.
oh yeah.
And I think you're right. That's what helps to engage the audience when you're trying to get them engaged into what you're playing and doing and singing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like that. So you want to play us something today?
Yeah, I want to play you the song I wrote called "I've Been Looking for You."
Okay.
And let me give you just a quick idea for the songwriters out there. I went over to my son's house, and he has a little Fender guitar there, and he said, "Hey, I'm shaving, I'm showering, just play the guitar until I come downstairs." So I picked up the guitar, and I just started going. And I went, wow, I got something here. I wrote the song in 20 minutes. It's just, it's so interesting that when you're connected up to the songwriting world, whatever that is, man, the lyrics just come and, it's such a satisfying process.
What's also interesting, what you just said, is that you're waiting for your son to get through with the shower, and so you're not wasting any time. You're utilizing that time to be creative.
But I didn't sit down to write a song.
I know, that's what I like.
Yeah, I sat down and started playing this certain chord with this rhythm, and I went, wow. And then I started, I grabbed a piece of paper trying to jot, because the lyrics are coming. They're just coming out like a train from a tunnel,
So then when your son came downstairs and he said, "I'm sorry, Dad, it took so long," he said, No, go back up.
Yeah, I think I did say, can you do something? I got to finish this, One more thing. Neil Young said once on an interview, the reason I can hire the people I hire and have the lifestyle I have is when I'm writing a song, people leave me alone because it's a special connection that a songwriter has. And if you jump in the car and listen to the radio, how did that song go? You'll lose it. You'll lose it. Yeah. So this is I've Been Looking for You. You're not a thief, but you stole my heart. You're not a mystery to me, you're the missing part. You got a spark, yeah, you turn me on. You're not an elixir, but you make me feel young. I've been looking for you. I'm so glad I found you. Honey, that's so true. 'Cause I've been looking for you. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. I've been looking for you. I'm so glad I found you. Honey, that's so true. 'Cause I've been looking for you. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. You're not a director, but you set me free. You're not a warden, you let me be me. You're not just some gem, you're a treasure I've found. You're not a solo game, you keep coming around. That's what I say. I've been looking for you. I'm so glad I found you. Honey, that's so true. 'Cause I've been looking for you. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. Looking for you. Looking for you. Yeah. Looking for you, looking for you, yeah. Looking for you, looking for you, yeah.
All right. I have a couple questions for both of you. I'm going to start with Donny.
Sure.
What do you think is different with the way you perform now as 40 years ago when you started out? Like, how is it different for you? How do you feel it?
Well, at that point, knowing very little about what I was doing, I was just faking it. I'm still faking it because I'm not a trained musician. But it was 3 chords. Let's see who could be the loudest.
Okay. And did you feel like you were as engaged with the audience as you are today?
Primarily, we were playing to
just
entertain
played,
ourselves, and we didn't get many opportunities to play out.
Okay.
So we were like garage band. We played to entertain ourselves and have a lot of fun. And all of that.
Okay. What about for you, Brian?
I started playing with no lessons, and I was so lucky. I was moving my drums from the moving van in a suburb of the San Francisco Bay Area, and the guitarist and the bass player saw me and they said, "Hey, there's our drummer." Luckily for me, it was Creedence. I hear a band. You know, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's about what I could do. And then you should have seen them turn white when I said, "Hey, rehearsing, let's go play in front of live audience." And they're like, "What?" You know. So I was always the one that wanted to get out there and play live. And then when I started playing guitar, it became a situation of really being a performer with the guitar on. I'm not an Eric Clapton. I've perfected playing guitar to my level, and I've noticed with all the auditions I'm doing of guitarists and rehearsing more, my playing is getting better. And I just went over to a mentor's house, and this is not an ego thing. The gift I have of playing and making people happy is the point, not getting egotistical about it. But he said, "Wow, your playing has improved." Well, it's spending more time on the guitar, you know?
So you think that it's more fun now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, because in the beginning I was learning chords. Pretty much now, I don't have to really look at the guitar too much on the basic chords.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of fun writing. I'm an award-winning journalist, so writing comes naturally to me. And again, the process, I just am in love with the process of songwriting. When I'm hooked up to that conduit and I've got an idea, I mean, I just wrote 2 or 3 songs in the last week.
I think one of the things I wanted to hit on here is that, Donny, what do you normally do for a living?
Well, I came from construction background, built homes, and with my family was construction, my dad and my brothers. And then I started my own business 30 years ago. I have a retail company. It's a family business. And we have 2 locations here. And so, yeah.
All right. And Brian, I know you're a journalist.
I'm a journalist, written some books, which we'll talk about in other shows. I work still 4 days a week for the family printing business. Can I say the name?
Sure you can.
Franklin Printing.
Yay!
You know, Franklin Printing. My son is counting on me to get new clients in. We contact some conventions and different local businesses. So I do that. I'm also responsible for getting the grandkids back and forth to school so my son can concentrate on his business and the quotes. So I keep myself pretty busy, but I would like to get back to doing music full time and just helping my son out a little bit.
Well, you know, I'm an author, and I do publishing as well.
Yeah.
So I do want to let our audience know that if there's anyone out there is looking for a printing place locally in Vegas, Franklin Printing, because they do novels. They print novels.
And if you mention Brian Gardner, they'll say, "Who is that?" No. If you mention Brian Gardner, they'll say, "Oh, yeah, we'll give you a discount, sure."
Yeah.
Well, since you talked about your business, my business is the Safekeeper Retail Safe Company, and we have 2 locations here in town. It's a family business. We've been in business for 30 years. The Safekeeper.
The Safekeeper.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I guess both of us, would you agree, we do music because we just love playing?
Oh, and that's what I wanted to ask you. Where do you play around town?
We are going to be playing on Water Street. I don't know when this is going to air, but I'll say it anyway. The 29th of April.
Okay.
That is the part of the Henderson Friday Night Music Series.
Okay.
And then we're also going to be playing, it's going to be so fun, at the big, huge Henderson Art Fair.
Oh, okay.
And that is on May 7th.
Uh-huh.
And then there's a couple other performances we're playing for no one will have trouble finding this.
Okay.
The best, I'll say darn, but there's another word they use, Best Darn Barbecue in Boulder City. We're playing there, which is going to be so fun. So the kind of places we play. What I would love to play, the kind of performances I would like to do would be special birthday parties, garden parties, home concerts, clubs where people really come to sit down and hear.
And have fun.
Yeah, have fun, and maybe they'll hear an original that they really like, but maybe they'll hear a cover that's done in a kind of unique way.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So do you have a website?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what is the website?
It's Facebook, actually. Manzanita Acoustic Music.
Okay, Manzanita.
Acoustic Music, yeah.
Acoustic.
They can find out. They can see clips of us playing. I post where we're going to be playing. And the only rule that Manzanita has, if you come see us play, come up and say hi between songs.
Okay. And if they were to go to Facebook and put in Brian Gardner,
Yeah.
you would come up under Manzanita.
The best thing to do is to go to Facebook and put in Manzanita Acoustic Music.
Okay.
And that way it'll pop up.
Okay.
They can just click on it, yeah. and we have the maracas on hand. I did get some T-shirts ordered, so you can get your own Manzanita T-shirt.
Cool. I like your logo. I think it's good. I think it's great.
I do too. It's just fun because Manzanita is a fun group, and we love kids. You know, people say, "Hey, don't bring your kids." You know, I love kids. There is nothing cuter than a bunch of kids in front of our band playing those maracas. Oh my gosh! And the parents are shooting pictures.
Yeah.
Here's the secret. It keeps the parents around longer. Sorry, parents.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. Well, guys, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for
My
having us
pleasure.
on.
All right.
Yeah.
It's fun.
All right, so you're going to come back and do it again in the future?
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Thanks so
Sooner
much.
better.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Donnie.
Thank you.
All right.
And
Thank
thanks,
you.
Brian.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
Let's do it solo. You may be able to use this intro, outro, whatever you want to use it for.
Absolutely.
I got to hit the road. I gotta hit the road. I got a heavy load. I got a long, long way to go. I gotta hit the road. I got a long, long journey ahead of me. When I'll be returning, well, we'll just have to see. I had a long, long life. It's been mostly alright, but I'm lonely tonight, 'cause you're nowhere